Welcome back to the Wizard Shop, and today we're going to talk about electric jelly beans. Let's get started.
Electric jelly beans?
That's what this is, and it's Eurasian Bob's. And it is in very nice shape. But before we dive into the electric jelly bean and find out how a small little tiny piece almost made this car inoperable, oh, and it is electric, by the way, let's hop back to pickles. So recently just had someone call in and tell Crazy D basically I didn't know what I was doing on pickles. So today we're going to show that just because you saw a car and you maybe had an experience a couple of times with one doesn't mean that that experience applies to what's going on with this vehicle. We actually have some of the speakers out, and we can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt it is nothing else. It's not solder joints. It's not anything else. It is the speakers that are bad. Danielson, let's take a look. So we have one of the 3.5-inch GM speakers out of the dash, and if he just barely touches the cone, it comes alive. That has nothing to do with solder joints on the back of the radio. It is the cone, it is the speaker itself that has failed. So I was correct in that assessment. Now let's move back to the back. So basically what's going on here is we had originally diagnosed this as the speakers being bad. I kind of knew that from experience. I've done enough of these. Now someone actually called and said it's possibly something else inside the radio, solder joints or something like that. And I was just like, no, that's not what it is. So we're actually double verifying to make sure what we got going on is the case. We've shown the front speaker is the speaker that is bad, and the back ones aren't doing anything, but yet the wiring, everything is perfect back there. The actual speakers themselves are what is dead, and we'll have Danielson prove that. So we'll plug into the power wire to that speaker. And these use ground as the second wire for the speaker. It's a really strange setup. That's the way they did it back then. And we actually hooked to the other side of the solder on that speaker. Boom. There we go. So thanks, Danielson, for finding out exactly what's going on. It's kind of the hunch that I had, but you now have proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. That's the only thing that is wrong with those speakers. The person that actually called Crazy D was actually very mean. I don't understand why. I mean, we're all in this together. We're trying to fix cars and get things taken care of. So we're all done here with the green pickle. I'll let you finish up, Danielson, what you got going on there. Very good work. Now we're going to move to the orange jelly bean.
Wizard, do you need to tell me something? Are you pregnant? Pickles and jelly beans?
That really doesn't go together well, does it?
No, not at all.
But it is the opposite of total different eras. The Malaise gas guzzlers and the future electric vehicles. Let's head on over. So back to the orange jelly bean. Actually, we have Grimes has looked at this just now. He's the electro wizard here. Electro, what do you call it? Gremlin? Gizmo. Gizmo. Is that the one?
Something like that.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, this is Eurasian Bob's 2014 Fiat 500e. It is full electric. It's not a hybrid. It's 100% battery and motor. There is no gasoline in this at all. He wants to put this on his lot, and something came up that a little error on the dash. It said a battery issue, and it was causing, what was it, like a limp mode or something? Or
No, actually it wasn't causing any issues with drivability. It just had an electric, battery system fault.
Battery system fault,
yeah.
Very good. Okay, well, he was concerned about that. He doesn't want to sell the car that way. He likes to sell stuff that's right. So he brought it here to get it checked out, and we're going to hook up the Autel scan tool, and Grimes is going to show us some of the things that he found and how a tiny little piece can cause so much havoc on an electric car. Let's head on over.
So when this thing first came in, I saw the error that he was talking about, and when I scanned it in the body control module here, we had a fault that was stored for this little humidity sensor, and apparently it is a pretty common fault on all of the Fiat 500s. And what happens is during its initial startup self-test, well, the LIN bus is pinging that humidity sensor, and when you've got an error, it causes a delay. what that delay does in turn is causes it not to go into ready state quickly enough, and it'll throw that system fault. So what I did, what most people do, is just disconnect the sensor. It bypasses that self-test at the beginning, for this. Says, oh, it's not there, doesn't care about it, and it moves on pretty quickly. Then I did the 12-volt system reset and cleared the errors, and it went away. Now we're still going to have a fault in the BCM for the humidity sensor lost communication that's active, but it's not going to show any actual faults. And apparently this has an effect on range, on AC performance, on a whole host of things.
Wow.
If it's not working properly. So we're going to go ahead and get a new one of these, put it in, that way it's back to OEM factory and everything's happy. And yeah, that was a pretty quick one to find out.
So basically what you're saying, Grimes, is that this tiny little sensor, which is less than $100, can go bad. All it does is check humidity, and it can affect your range, your AC performance, and throw up a totally misleading battery icon.
Yep.
This has nothing to do with the battery.
Nope, just slows everything down, and it doesn't know what to do with it, so the delay trips that error.
So it thinks that there is a problem with the drive system, and all it is just a humidity sensor.
Yep.
Less than $100.
Yep.
Well, definitely happy with the findings here. I guess that's why you wanted to be called Gizmo. Is that good now, or
Little wind-up cars.
little wind-up cars?
Yeah, we can. It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. This is a very cool car. You actually went and drove it, and it was like, did you say it was amusingly fast?
It's quick.
Yeah?
It's surprisingly quick. I think it's probably got, on the same level as one of the turbo trim cars. So, yeah, I like it.
It is. It's a really cool car. All right, well, I'll let you go hang out in the AC. Definitely thanks for finding that out. We got to the bottom of it here at Omega, thanks to Grimes. So, with the future of EV cars, I don't know. Are they going to be able to pull it off? I have no idea. I do think in the next 100 years anyway, we're going to see the deletion or the abandonment of gas cars, and stuff like this will take over. Some of us don't like it, some of us do, but really it's kind of an unchangeable thing. We won't really be able to do much about it. But before we say, let's put a sensor in and we're done, let's go for a cruise in this thing. It's really strange how quiet it is, but yet how fast it is. All right, I'll go ahead and hop in. What are you doing?
I'm going to drive it. You get shotgun.
Okay, I'll claim shotgun then. So this little sensor that's causing so much trouble, it's as if something major has gone wrong. And it's not. It's just this little guy, and he's right here. You see this little dangling connector, and it just snaps into place here. It literally takes 10 minutes to change that out. But it took a lot longer than 10 minutes to figure out what's going on and what's wrong with it. So that's where some of the time comes in. We got one on order, an OEM Mopar one. We'll get that snapped back in, and that will solve the problems for this little 500E, and it'll be ready for sale. Let's go for a cruise, Mrs. Wizard.
Okay. So we're not going to do a full interior review today, but you're going to see much of it because it's such a small car as we go down the road. But one thing I found is interesting is it actually uses a key. Electric car that uses a key to get started. So let's get this in the ignition and get going.
That didn't sound like an engine starting, Mrs. Wizard.
No, I did hear a little bit of noise. Obviously, I heard the music play, but that's it. So let's go ahead and push the R. And put the window up as well, and we'll get some air conditioning going because it's a little bit stuffy in here.
It is. All right, Mrs. Wizard, once we get out here, let's punch it.
Okay, here we go. Whoa, I think we got a little slippage there from the sand.
Definitely. Gets up and moves quick, doesn't it?
It does. It does a very good job. Of course, it's got a good coast because we're just trying not to hit the track in front of us, but recharging that battery now.
Yep, it does have a strong regenerate. Just barely touch the brakes, you can really feel it.
Oh yeah, they are quite good. You do not want to have people tailgating you in one of these. They will hit you.
So it goes to regenerate on top of the brakes as well, which makes the brakes that much stronger.
This This is a fun little interior. I love the kind of a persimmon orange color. We've got accents everywhere.
It's got a white leather everywhere as well.
Yeah, and the dash is a nice plastic. I mean, they don't even hide it. It's nice and shiny. And of course, the top part has that nice rough texture. Kind of a nice contrast between the two.
It really is a cool car, though.
It definitely is. Has 42,000 miles on here.
That's not much at all.
No.
We'll see if we can do a little U-turn up here, if it can do it.
I bet I don't even go into the other cross street up here.
It makes like spaceship noises.
Find us. Here we go.
Why don't you come to a stop, Mrs. Wizard, and I will zoom in on the speedometer.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Wow, 60 miles an hour very quickly. And didn't make a bunch of noise or a bunch of downshifting or screaming RPMs to get there. It was just very smooth like butter all the way to 60. It didn't even struggle.
It's so quiet though. It kind of makes me, worry a little bit because these cars are so quiet. They can almost sneak up on people.
Yeah, they actually, a lot of the EV cars have actual like a spaceship hovering type noise, so that people that have trouble seeing, they can actually hear the car around them.
Yeah, it makes me nervous when I'm riding my bicycle that will a car come up, sneak up behind me, and I can't hear them. So it's nice that they've done that. It's kind of like blinkers. They've added the blinker sound. Your car doesn't actually go blink, blink, blink. They've actually added that sound because back in the days, back when Pickles was new, you actually heard the light switch come off and on, off and on.
Yeah, they had a mechanical relay that made a noise.
Yeah.
Now it's something you normally wouldn't hear, but they have to add the noise so you can hear it.
Which I guess is nice because we've been behind that person for 5 miles that still has their right blinker on.
That was a fun little ride.
It's very fun.
Cool little car.
Luckily, you can press that brake kind of soft and not throw us into the windshield. So good thing I didn't send you flying.
So that was an interesting little cruise. It was actually very fun to get to drive an EV and experience it. It's really kind of bewildering at first because so much of the things we've been used to for literally a century of driving are gone. It doesn't make engine noises. It doesn't vibrate with an engine running. It's really, really kind of strange. But this is a really nice car. It's in really great shape. Once we get this part installed, this thing will be ready for sale. You can contact Eurasian Bob if you're interested in it. There's a link below in the description to check out Eurasian Bob's inventory and this car if you want. But isn't it so sad? And here we are again, a tiny plastic piece can literally throw your world upside down. Like the end of the world is coming. No, just a little $80 little piece. We've actually seen this in a video in the past. It is an actuator video on an Infiniti QX56. The link is in the description below for that as well. And it shows how a little $50 HVAC actuator can cost you $1,000 or $2,000 for a $50 part. Same situation here. One little tiny little plastic sensor. And you would have thought the battery system's failed. And it's not. It runs perfectly fine. Luckily, this is easy to access. It's not tons of labor to get to it, unlike the Infiniti in the video that's in the description below, where the entire dash has to come out just to get to it. It's really, really crazy. So we didn't put it on the lift because there's really not much to see underneath. There's no exhaust, there's no gas tank, there's really nothing under there. It's just electric drivetrain. But you definitely have gotten to see all the cool angles in the interior and how it drives. It is a very nice vehicle. So it seems fitting to show the end of the car at the end of the video. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to work on this or any other car, Pickles, really anything in the shop, all the tools that we use in the shop are listed on our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and we really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the subscribe button because we got more bus videos to come, all kinds of really cool videos. Hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.